This week's 1044 is brought to you by Chevron Delos 600 ADF Ultra Low Ash Diesel Engine Oil. It's time to kick some ash. This week on the 1044, how a roadside pecan stand became the grandfather of all truck stops, the rise, the fall, and the rebirth of Stuckey's. Hey everybody, and welcome to the 1044, a weekly webisode from the editors here at CCJ. I'm Jason Cannon, and my co-host on the other side is Matt Cole. If you've ever traveled through the Southeast, you know all about Stuckey's, or you probably think you know all about it. What was born as a roadside pecan stand almost 90 years ago became the original roadside travel oasis, with a store count that reached more than 350 locations in 40 states.
By the 1970s, Stuckey's had been sold and found itself caught in the crossfire between changes in travel habits, thanks to airline deregulation, which made tickets cheaper, and an oil embargo that caused gas prices to spike. It would close that decade down to fewer than 75 locations.
The Stuckey family reacquired the business in the mid-1980s and in the years since has worked to restore the company to prominence. But there's a lot more to it than simply reopening gas stations. Stephanie Stuckey, who now serves as the company's CEO, bought the business from her father in late 2019. And she joined us for a look back at the company that her grandfather started but was sold the year before she was born.
We were the very first roadside retail chain that offered gas, souvenirs, a hot snack, a quick snack. It wasn't full service sit down restaurant, clean restrooms, all the basics that the traveling public could want. And he had this saying, every traveler is a friend, and he really meant it. He welcomed everyone. He welcomed traveling families, traveling business people, truckers, RVers, black, white. We were one of the few locations in the South, especially during the Jim Crow era, that was never segregated. So we always had this reputation for Southern hospitality and being a welcoming brand. Back in the 1950s and 60s, when we were being founded, there really wasn't what is known today as a truck plaza, right? You didn't have these large square footage establishments on the side of the road. Frankly, Stuckey's was it for many years. But we always welcomed truckers to stop at our stores. And actually, at one point, we even owned a trucking company. We had our own freight that shipped our product to our 350 plus stores. So we were actually in the trucking business at one point.
After serving 14 years in the Georgia House of Representatives and another 4 years as Director of Sustainability for the City of Atlanta, she put her environmental law practice on hold for a chance to revive the family business.
We got the company back in 1985. My father acquired the company. He was running 5 other businesses, at least. He was a serial entrepreneur. Stuckey's at that point was really faded, not doing well, and he kept it alive. He propped it up, kept it going for about 20, 30 years, and then he and all his business partners retired. And they left it being run by a skeleton crew, and the brand started to suffer again. And for over a decade, the company was really suffering. It was losing money for the past 5 years. And last November 2019, I was given the chance to buy it. And now I'm running the company.
Through the windshield, Stephanie's version of Stuckey's probably won't look a lot like the one that her grandfather built, but as far as she's concerned, she's following right along in his footsteps. But before we hear from Stephanie, let's hear from our sponsor, Chevron Lubricants. Did you know that 90% of the ash and soot trapped inside your DPF right now is caused by your engine oil? It's not like you can go without engine oil, so there's nothing you can do about it, right? Wrong. Chevron spent a decade developing a no-compromise formulation when it comes to minimizing ash output and maximizing engine protection. Delos 600 ADF with OmniMax technology is an ultra-low ash diesel engine oil that is specifically designed to combat DPF ash clogging by cutting sulfate ash by 60% and extending DPF service life by 2.5 times. Delos 600 ADF also enables extended drain intervals thanks to an advanced antioxidant technology that prevents oil breakdown even at the high temperatures found in modern diesel engines. And by slashing the number of regens, Delos 600 ADF with OmniMax technology comes with a 3% fuel efficiency increase throughout the DPF's lifetime. If you're keeping score at home, that's decreased downtime, extended maintenance intervals, and improved fuel economy. That's real money in your pocket and time saved. Before you had to choose between protecting your engine or your after-treatment system, but now you don't. Delos 600 ADF with OmniMax technology. It's time to kick some ash.
I really focused on what are our strengths And we started as a pecan stand on the side of the road. And we began selling pecans, and that's how we're turning the company around, is we're selling pecans. And we're also selling candies that we are really well known for, the pecan log roll in particular, but pralines and divinity, fudge, all of this is what was our differentiator. We're also known for creating an experience, and we're so strongly associated with the road trip, and we have strong brand value built up over 80 plus years of people knowing and loving our stores. So I just focus on what has worked for us, and certainly I'm very aware of the competitive landscape, but if I obsess over that, I'll go crazy. I realized how my grandfather made his money. 80% of his profit was sale of product. So that's what we're doing. We're selling product.
Stephanie, in the past 18 months, has acquired a candy plant, a pecan shelling facility, a fundraising business, and a healthy nut company. And she has honed in on securing vendor relationships with travel centers and fueling stops to sell its products. Stuckey's goods are currently sold in 5 pilot locations and are available at over 500 third-party retailers. And you can order them directly from Stuckey's website.
So that's how we're bringing the company back. Eventually, I hope as we grow the company, to have some company-owned stores, have a handful of what people might remember. You can see behind me the classic blue slope roof that many people recognize as synonymous with Stuckey's and synonymous with road trips. And I want to have a handful of those stores that really will serve as a way of elevating the brand and selling the product. We're not Loves. We're not Pilot. We're not TA. I don't anticipate that we will be in that space. That is not what we aspire to. It's a very competitive landscape, and there are strong establishments already in that space. Frankly, I would love to partner with them. I would love for them to sell our products and be a presence within their stores. But what I aspire to is just having a handful of these destination location stores that would be small footprints that would really serve to elevate the brand.
Stuckey's is unlikely to ever see the kind of rooftop count that Stephanie's grandfather grew the company to, and that's by Stephanie's own design. She sees the company now more of an experience cultivated by a sense of community among travelers of the highway.
I'd rather have quality. I'd rather have an experience. And I think it's hard to have a unique, curated, special experience if you have such a large quantity. And you can have a really wonderful brand that has sticking power without 500 stores. And a great example of that is In-N-Out Burger. They have a small footprint compared to a lot of the other fast food burger chains, but they have a die-hard, dedicated, I wouldn't even say customer base, I'd say fan base, because they are absolutely the best hamburger you're going to find. And so people are going to go out of their way to get an In-N-Out Burger, and they're going to wear In-N-Out t-shirts and In-N-Out hats, and they even have In-N-Out bumper stickers, and people just are rabid. They wait in line overnight when a new In-N-Out Burger is being opened. Like, I would much rather have that kind of brand than have 500 stores that are just not all that exciting. The way I'm passionate is you've got to look beyond just these short-term goals. You have to think, I'm not just building a profit. It's, to me, any worthwhile endeavors about building community. It's making connections with people. Truckers are a community. How do you build that community where people can connect with one another and know that what they're doing has value? And Stuckey's, to me, is about so much more than just selling pecan log rolls and kitschy souvenirs like rubber alligators. It's about this community of people who travel the highways of this country. And how do we connect with one another?
That's it for this week's 1044. You can read more on ccjdigital.com. As always, you can find the 1044 each week on CCJ's YouTube channel. And if you've got questions, comments, criticisms, or feedback, please hit us up at 1044trucking@gmail.com or give us a call at 404-491-1380. And until next week, everybody go grab a pecan log, but stay safe.